Hi, I'm Matt Catanese, the Director of Financial Aid here at College for Creative Studies. I'm here today to walk you through important information regarding financial aid and college costs. During this session, we will cover the following topics: an overview of financial aid, commonly used financial aid terminology, understanding the cost of attendance at College for Creative Studies specifically, the various types of financial aid and sources, and also we're going to touch on the FAFSA application, so the free application for financial aid, and why it is important to fill it out. And then we'll briefly touch on addressing special and unusual circumstances. So the first topic that we're going to touch on is, what is financial aid? Financial aid is any form of funding that helps pay for post-secondary education that does not come from family or personal savings or earnings. This helps cover mandatory tuition, fees, housing if you're living on campus, food plan if you're taking one, and other billable costs that you will see on the billing statement from semester to semester. You can also utilize the financial aid to offset other educational expenses, such as books and supplies, travel expenses to and from school, and other miscellaneous expenses that you may incur while attending CCS. So common financial aid terms. So whether you're attending CCS or attending another school, you're going to encounter several financial aid terms that are similar across the education. So one term that you are going to come across is the cost of attendance, or with the acronym COA. This is a total estimated yearly cost based on your housing selection, which includes billable and non-billable expenses, as well as your dependency status, which is determined by filling out your annual FAFSA application. So leading into that, FAFSA. So this is the free financial aid application that collects family and financial information, in which helps determine grant, scholarship, and loan eligibility. And what that FAFSA helps determine is that Student Aid Index, or the SAI. This is a FAFSA-based number that helps determine need-based aid eligibility. So this helps determine your need-based grants or your loan eligibility. So the big question is, how much will college cost? Well, this is determined on various aspects of your enrollment, financial aid offer, etc. So planning for college starts with understanding the full scope of costs, not just tuition and fees. You will want to factor in living expenses, whether you are deciding to live on campus, off campus, or at home, and other costs such as rent, food, clothing, utilities, travel expenses like gas and upkeep on your car, and etc. To manage costs effectively, you want to plan not just for your first year of college, but the 4 years towards graduation. Knowing the total cost helps with long-term financial planning. This will allow you to develop a strategic plan to cover tuition, fees, and other educational related expenses. You'll want to compare schools. So if you're applying to multiple schools, you want to evaluate tuition, fees, the living expenses across your college list. And then you'll also want to factor in your estimated out-of-pocket, so your remaining balance costs. So factor in financial aid to identify additional funding that you will need, like scholarships or grants or loans. Breaking your costs down makes costs manageable and helps you plan for the future and assists with avoiding unexpected financial surprises. Leading into that, we're going to talk about the cost of attendance and what that is. So the cost of attendance is an estimated total cost for one academic year. At College for Creative Studies, this is your tuition, whether you attend full-time, part-time, one class, 6 classes, and then your mandatory fees that all students are charged. Your housing and food, so rent and meals, whether you're living on campus, off campus, or at home. Books and supplies, transportation, which includes commuting or travel costs to and from school. And then you have your miscellaneous or personal expenses, everyday items, your entertainment, health-related costs. So understanding the cost is key to making informed decisions about which college to attend and how to manage any financial burden. So with that cost of attendance, you have your sticker price or your reality. So the sticker price of a college's cost of attendance refers to the total amount that the student would pay if they were to cover all expenses without any type of financial aid or discounts. For the 2025-26 academic year, this varies by housing option, so whether you're living on campus, off campus, or with your parents, and also your dependency status as determined by your FAFSA submission. So the sticker price doesn't account for financial aid, so your scholarships, grants, loans, work study, any other type of financial contribution. So the actual amount a student pays will be lower depending on how much aid they receive. So your actual price. So this is the actual price of the college's cost of attendance, which includes the amount that the student actually pays after factoring in financial aid awards. The actual price reflects the real out-of-pocket costs for students, which is typically lower due to the various billable costs. So again, your tuition, your fees, if you're living on campus housing, or your food plan. A student's financial aid offer, which includes the grant, scholarship, and loan options, will drive down the actual price that a student and family actually has to pay. The types of financial aid. So financial aid helps cover the costs. Whether, again, you're attending on campus, off campus, it helps to cover tuition, fees, mandatory fees, things of that sort. So your eligibility is based on your student aid index. There's that SAI again, which is calculated by your annual FAFSA. So financial need is determined by subtracting the SAI from the cost of attendance. So some types of financial aid include scholarships. This is aid that does not necessarily need to be repaid and can come from various forms. You have your merit-based scholarships, which is based on academic achievement. You have your need-based awards, which is based on annual FAFSA submission. You have private entities, which comes from outside organizations, foundations, or businesses. And then you have departmental options, which come from areas of studying. So here's a fun fact. All CCS students that are admitted are considered for CCS merit-based awards. So the next type of financial aid award is grants. So this is typically need-based awards that usually do not need to be repaid. These awards come from federal, state, or institutional sources. Moving into work study. So these are part-time jobs that assist with educational expenses. Students can work anywhere from up to 20 hours a week, can hold multiple positions on campus, and are meant to assist students by helping earn a paycheck to help cover some of those educational expenses that may come up, such as books or supplies. And then ultimately, you do have loans as a source of financial aid. And this funding, of course, does need to be repaid. This funding can come from the federal government or private loan servicers. CCS also offers institutional aid for international and non-federal aid eligible students. This includes international student grant, CCS scholarships, and yes, work study. Additional resources like employer assistance, military aid, college savings plans, and institutional payment plans are also options. So the burning question, why is it important to complete your annual FAFSA application? Well, first off, it's free, and there's no obligation to accept any of the financial aid that is offered, even if it's just student loans. This helps CCS and the Financial Aid Office determine your eligibility for federal, state, and institutional aid. This also gives us the opportunity to provide you with a comprehensive financial aid award offer, which helps break down that total cost and gives you a reality of what you are actually needing to pay out of pocket. And it also helps you plan for those out-of-pocket expenses. And while the first time application submission can be time-consuming, don't be discouraged. Subsequent applications are much quicker because you're just updating information and adding next year's tax information. So how does the FAFSA work? So the FAFSA is important for securing financial aid. So the FAFSA collects your demographic and financial information, which is used to calculate your student aid index. There's that common term again. Colleges use your SAI to determine your eligibility for financial aid or need-based grants. For the 25-26 academic year, you can file the FAFSA application now at studentaid.gov. So let's walk through the steps of filling out a FAFSA application. First and most importantly, if you haven't done so already, you will need to create a FSA ID and password. If you are a dependent student, so that means that your parent financial information is required for your FAFSA, each parent will need to create a FSA ID and password as well. This should be generally done 3 days prior to filling it out. That way it gives the Social Security Administration the ability to confirm your identity and for them to send you an email saying, yes, we confirm you are who you are and you are all set to complete your FAFSA application. Before filling out the FAFSA application, you're going to want to collect your Social Security number, tax returns, W-2s, bank statements, and other financial records so that when filling it out, you can compare the data or have it readily available. You will log in with your FSA ID to begin your application. As of right now, there are 2 current applications available for students to fill out. One is for the 2024-25 academic year, which is for the fall 2024, winter 2025, and summer 2025 semesters. For new students coming in, or even returning students, you will want to fill out your 2025-2026 FAFSA, which covers the fall 2025, winter 2026, and summer 2026 semesters. You can add up to 20 schools that you're considering attending. Most importantly, CCS's school code is 006771. You will need to answer questions about your dependency status, which helps determine the need for parent information. You'll enter financial details for you and your parents if applicable. It is encouraged that you use the direct data exchange, which transfers the federal tax information directly from the IRS and the FAFSA. This helps alleviate fat fingering numbers, which could hurt your eligibility for getting financial aid. It also helps alleviate issues or errors in transferring that data so that everything is accurate as it should be, as it shows on your tax information. Once you've entered all that information, you are going to want to review all your information just to make sure that it's accurate and exactly what you anticipate it should be. You will sign using your FSA ID. If you're a dependent student and your parents added their tax information and demographic information, they will need to sign as well. So once you submit your FAFSA, you want to look for a confirmation email. After submission, you will receive a student aid report or an SAR. You want to review this for accuracy, and if you find any errors, you want to make any necessary corrections. And that's it. After all that, you filed your FAFSA. CCS usually receives your FAFSA application, and as long as you're an admitted student or continuing student, we should be able to get you awarded within 3 to 5 business days and send out a comprehensive award offer to you. Special and unusual circumstances. So we understand that your annual FAFSA application may not reflect your current financial situation. This may be because your parent or a student lost their job. Maybe there was a divorce. Maybe there was a death in the family from an income provider. These are unique conditions that cannot be documented on your FAFSA. So you ask, what should I do? So students should contact their financial aid office for more information and guidance on how to determine if any updates can be made to your FAFSA based on your current circumstances. And that's it. Questions? If you have questions, it is always encouraged that you contact the CCS financial aid office or the financial aid office you plan on attending. We're not this big scary office that just tells you how to pay your bills or that you need to do this or that or the other. We are here to assist you through your education journey, breaking down the financial barriers and giving you all options on how to make obtaining your degree more feasible and obtainable.